It was midnight, but the 5-year-old girl was still struggling to fall asleep. She had been hearing noises all night, rustling, scratching, and all these sounds were coming from under her bed. For the 5th time that night, she rushed from her bedroom and into her parents' room. She couldn't bear it anymore. It was just too scary.
"Mama?"
she cried. Her mother jumped up in alarm.
What is it?
"There's something under my bed."
Her mother sighed.
There's nothing under your bed, Betty. Just go back to sleep.
"There is."
Finally, after much persuading, Betty managed to drag her mother over to her bedroom to look under her bed and check that there really wasn't anything there. When her mother knelt down, she could see nothing but a few old books and a stuffed teddy bear beneath the bed.
See,
She said, pulling out the teddy bear.
nothing to worry about. Just an old teddy bear.
She put the teddy bear on the bed next to Betty, but Betty started to crawl away from the stuffed animal. She seemed uncomfortable. Come to think of it, her mother couldn't even remember buying the teddy bear. She didn't recognize it, but she passed it off as just her bad memory. Perhaps someone had sent it as a birthday gift one time.
Now, get to sleep, Betty.
She tucked her daughter into bed, with the teddy bear beside her, keeping her comfort. Betty was eyeing the teddy bear warily. Her mother left the room, closing the door silently. She crawled back into bed, where her husband was still sleeping soundly. Seemingly a few seconds later, she heard a scream.
Betty.
The mother bolted from bed with her husband close behind, and together they ran into the bedroom. Betty was screaming from underneath her covers, and on top of her, miraculously standing upright, was the teddy bear. "What the?" gasped Betty's father. Slowly, the teddy bear turned its head to face them. Then, it pounced. Welcome back to SCP Exposed. Before I go on, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any creepy SCP stories. Today, we bring you Keter class object SCP-1048. Although the object was formerly classified as safe, recent events have called for an immediate change in classification to Keter. SCP-1048 is a small teddy bear, approximately 33 centimeters in height. Through testing, composition of the subject revealed no unusual qualities that make it discernible from a non-sapient teddy bear. Subject is capable of moving of its own accord and can communicate through a small range of gestures. The subject regularly shows affection to individuals in ways found endearing by most people. Affection is usually given in the form of a hug to the lower leg, but the subject has also been observed dancing, jumping in place, and in 2 separate events, it has even drawn childlike pictures from staff. All Foundation personnel that have interacted with the subject have responded positively to its affection, even D-Class with normally sociopathic tendencies. Attempts at direct communication with SCP-1048 have not been considered successful. Though it is capable of simple gestures to indicate a yes or no answer, it will often not react to lines of questioning concerning its nature or where it originated from. It is not known if this is simply because the subject does not know the answers or because it does not want to answer. Though capable of drawing pictures, it has not used its art as a form of communication beyond showing affection, even when encouraged to do so. It is unknown how SCP-1048 appeared on Foundation grounds. There have not been many reports of the subject's sighting in the outer world, but perhaps that is merely due to a lack of awareness from the public, or perhaps due to the sheer improbability of its existence. Personnel theorize any reports that have been made of the subject have been pushed under the rug on the basis that they must be mere hallucinations, or perhaps illusions brought out from childhood traumas. Currently, the Foundation is investigating any past reports of possible SCP-1048 sightings. The more anomalous behavior of the subject was not observed until approximately 7 months after it was originally secured. It is hypothesized that the subject is able to construct crude replicas of itself using various materials, by a process that has yet to be observed directly by Foundation staff. Dr. Carver has suggested that SCP-1048 uses its endearing qualities to lull those around it into a false sense of security, allowing it to collect materials to produce these creations. Currently, there are 3 known creations of the subject, designated SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C. The nature of these creations has been in stark contrast to the original subject's general behavior, as all have exhibited extreme violence towards humans. Before the incident that sparked its change in classification, SCP-1048 was initially allowed to roam freely through Site-24, as it appeared to pose no threat and had been observed to greatly improve the morale of personnel that interact with it. This was perhaps the biggest mistake made by Foundation personnel. As a result of this mistake, many lives were lost. Approximately 228 days after the subject was first discovered by the Foundation, SCP-1048-A was discovered wandering Site-24, accompanied by the subject. SCP-1048-A, hereby referred to as Replica A, resembles a teddy bear similar in size and shape to the subject, but it's made entirely out of human ears. Witnesses interviewed reported that it appeared the subject was giving a tour of Site-24 to Replica A. Dr. Carver was called to the scene, along with a security team. The security team arrived first and attempted to contain Replica A. The replica emitted a high-pitched shriek that inflicted intense pain in the eyes and ears of everyone in a 10-meter radius. Ear-like growths immediately began growing on those within 5 meters of the subject, covering their bodies in less than 20 seconds. Every person inflicted with this symptom died within 3 minutes, resulting in the death of many personnel, including the entire security team. Autopsies revealed the cause of death to be asphyxiation caused by an abundance of the ear-like growths manifesting in the mouths and trachea of all victims. The subject and Replica A fled the scene before Dr. Carver arrived and have not been contained since the incident, though sightings of both have been reported on multiple occasions. Shortly after this incident occurred, a researcher was discovered missing an ear. According to him, it was removed through unknown means while he was sleeping. No other victims of ear removal were found, so it is unclear if SCP-1048 obtained more ears from another source, or if it is capable of duplicating objects or materials. Approximately 2 months later, SCP-1048-B was discovered. Replica B was found by several Foundation staff members in the cafeteria of Site-24. The replica's appearance was nearly identical to SCP-1048, but it moved in an irregular, jerky manner. Witnesses reported that it appeared as if something was moving inside of Replica B. Subject made no attempt to interact initially, until a burst in its seams revealed what appeared to be the hand and arm of a human infant poking out and grasping at the air. At the sight of this, a female researcher screamed, and Replica B reacted by emitting a high-pitched cry similar to that of a human infant. The subject then attempted to stab the screaming researcher with its bare hands, causing massive internal damage. In the ensuing chaos, a security team was forced to terminate both the researcher and Replica B. Approximately 3 hours after this incident, a Foundation member was found unconscious and bleeding in her office. An abortion had been performed on her while she was sleeping, and the 8-month-old fetus was never found. It is hypothesized that SCP-1048 used the woman's unborn child to create Replica B. Information regarding the possible origin of Replica B is not to be leaked to the survivors currently undergoing therapy for the incident with Replica B, as Dr. Carver believes it would be extremely detrimental to their mental health and recovery. SCP-1048-C resembles a teddy bear similar to the original subject, but composed entirely of rusted metal scraps. Replica C was first sighted by Dr. Carver in his office while writing up a report on the SCP-1048 incident. Replica C fled the room when it noticed Dr. Carver observing it. In the attempted pursuit of the creature, Dr. Carver witnessed the death and maiming of several Foundation personnel, as the subject exhibited extreme violence during its escape. Replica C has not been encountered since this initial sighting, and it is unknown whether it still resides somewhere within Site-24. The origins of any materials possibly used to construct Replica C by the original subject are also unknown at this time. In his report to O5 personnel, Dr. Carver wrote, "I cannot stress this enough. The damn thing jumped right through those poor people." The whereabouts of SCP-1048 are currently unknown, though it is still believed to be somewhere in Site-24. The subject is to be secured for containment, but any creation of SCP-1048 should be destroyed on site, unless further evidence warrants less extreme actions. No teddy bears are to be allowed in Site-24 to prevent any confusion or mistaken identity. Any object that resembles a teddy bear is to be reported to the security team immediately. Upon this report, Dr. Carver has left a note to all viewers. "This is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now." Some researchers have noticed how SCP-1048 appears similar to SCP-2295 in appearance. although they seem to be exact opposites in function. Possibilities of a common origin are currently being investigated between the two objects. Extreme caution is to be taken if SCP-1048-A or SCP-1048-C are encountered again. So what did you think of that SCP case? Beware of teddy bears. They're not as cuddly and cute as you may think.